right. Hello and Happy New Year, everybody. I think we are live. Let me just check on YouTube. Sure that I. Oh, yeah, we've got sound on YouTube. Okay, that's a good thing. And let me just turn on the camera here. I've got the fire pit here, and I'm just going to make a fire. And I've got everything here. So we're going to burn stuff, and we're going to obviously talk with the chat. We're going to talk travel and the year that has been 2025, and as well as our plans for 2026. So let's turn on the camera. Hello. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. And I want to say Happy New Year to Miskatonic Batman. Hello to you, sir. And Tim, FKHC. Thank you for being here, and Happy New Year. So I'm going to get, you don't want to see me, you came to see the fire. So I'm going to start up the fire here. I hope you have had a excellent New Year's Day. Hopefully not too hungover. I went over to my brother's house. I went to 3 bonfires last night around the neighborhood, and ended up at my brother's house and celebrated New Year there with him and his lovely family and a whole bunch of friends. So hopefully you're not too hungover, but maybe you have a beverage to start the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, Miskatonic, I know. Shut up and make the fire. You got it, buddy. Now let's hope this birch bark lights up pretty nicely. I think it will, although it is wet and icy, but that shouldn't stop it from lighting. Hopefully. We'll see. Oh, maybe that's got it. Now we're just starting off with some birch bark, and hopefully you can see the grains in this. I believe this is pine. I believe this is white pine, perhaps, that I'm cutting up for kindling. And it's pretty dry and it burns really well. I just went into the woods and cut some standing dead trees that have been up there for a while and dead. And hopefully we can get a fire going here. Frozen, eh? Oh yeah, that's good and frozen. Can't even stick the axe into it. Oh, there. I think it's doesn't look like much, but it is burning. I think it'll come. I think it'll come along. So let's see who is joining us. Oh, hey, Happy New Year to you, Herc130. Great to see you, Herc130. And also the lovely Sherry. Happy New Year to you. And Suzanne Eckstein. I got your New Year's message, so very good. Very good to have you here. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, we have a celebrity in the chat. This is Mr. Frank Vaughn, a very excellent political commentary YouTuber. And holy crap, it is very good to have you here, sir. Just trying to get this fire going. It's usually much more impressive than this. Thank you for being here. Everyone, if you aren't familiar with Mr. Frank Vaughn, please check his channel out. And if anyone would like to throw his link in the chat, I would appreciate that. Hey, Carla Burton, all the way from New Zealand. Great to see you, Carla Burton. John the Beagle Dad, very good. Hello to you and Porthos. And Frank Vaughn, again, yeah, hey, thanks for being here, my friend. And Gone with John, another celebrity. If you are not familiar with Gone with John's channel, please check him out. Excellent men's advice with Gone with John. And really happy to have you here. This fire needs attention, so I'm going to get right to it. And yeah, thank you, the lovely Sherry. And please, if you can find Gone with John's channel, he's another very excellent YouTuber, much bigger than myself, and I'm thrilled to have him here. And you know what? I do make... I'm just trying to see how many moderators YouTube will let me have. So everyone that I know, I make a moderator. And there you go. No responsibilities come with that. I'm just playing around with YouTube a little bit and seeing what they'll allow me to get away with. But I got to get this fire going, folks. This is not impressive. Got big names in the chat, and this is not acceptable. Not acceptable. This is horrible entertainment value here. Let's see if we can't get this started. Birch bark is the key. All right, and I'll be right back with some more. All right, this ought to do it. And then we'll get into tonight's discussion. There. That's a little more impressive chat. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got the microphone positioned so that hopefully you can hear me and the fire. All right. Well, let's get into it, friends. Oh, I'm blocking the fire. That's poor form. Here we go. That's more like it. Ah. All right. Well, hopefully, I think that should go. I think we're in good shape. Welcome to 2026, the first day of 2026. And I don't know, everyone was saying that 2025 wasn't that great a year, but personally, I thought 2025 was pretty good. We had some incredible good sailing days. Check out my channel. I got a new sailboat this summer. It's a little tiny one man sailboat, but I relearned how to sail. The last time I was sailing was when my father taught me in 1980 on an identical boat, coincidentally enough. And so getting the sailboat, re-familiarizing myself with sailing was excellent for 2025. And I got to go down to Texas. All right, as you know, I'm pretty vocal about my thoughts on Canada's future. And until we get a complete change in government, it's not looking good. So I did go down to Texas to sort of scout out what America is like in that part. And of course, I've been to New York City and Florida and Washington State, of course. But Texas was beautiful. It was gorgeous. There's a lot going on there. It's booming. People are friendly, and they're very proud to be Texan, but they're humble. It's a weird dynamic. I mean, I'm from the East Coast originally, from New Brunswick, as you may know, and the people are very down-home friendly out there, but there's also a pretense there. They're a little bit snooty, a little bit high on themselves, especially when it comes to Americans. They're really quick to say that we're better than Americans, which is ridiculous. But anyway, not to get too far off topic, I did get a chance to go see Texas and meet some great YouTuber friends. Anti-Derivative Jill, who was on with Critical Drinker yesterday on a panel with him. So that was amazing. Good for you, Anti-Derivative Jill. And yeah, to be on a panel, the same panel as Critical Drinker, that's pretty impressive. And tonight's discussion topic, who invented liquid soup and why? Well, I don't know. You're funny. Thanks for being here, Herc130 and the lovely Sherry. Volume is good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shirley. And Frank Vaughn says, personally, I think it was two. The micro was great. The macro was a bit frauds. Yeah, I would agree with that. Although, you know what, we did get some information around that we may not have gotten in other years. So I was quite happy. All kinds of stuff is coming out, and 2026 is going to be even better. Oh, shit. All right, I better attend to this. It's like a living, breathing creature, and you can't neglect it, or it's no good. But also, I went to Mexico. I spent, thanks to some lovely, generous people in my friend group, and a little bit of hard work on my part, I was able to go to Mexico for the entire month, just about the entire month of, when was that, March? So that was fantastic again. I love Mexico, love Pacific Mexico. And it was fantastic. Hey, Jason Love, great to see you, my friends. We're Hans and Franz, and we're here to pump you up. Love that. Love Saturday Night Live back in the day. But yeah, I'm going to get to this fire, folks. And tell me, what do you... I mean, yeah, 2025, maybe some things weren't fantastic for some people. I know we lost some really good celebrities. You know, Hulk Hogan was a big one for me personally. But yeah, there were some good things, going to Texas, going to Mexico, getting to sail again, growing my channel. I hit over 500 subscribers, which I know it's tiny, but you know, having 500 people pay attention to your opinions is, I'm impressed. I never thought it would get that big. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, this needs to be better. Fire is a fickle mistress. It needs attention, like many of my ex-girlfriends. If you don't give it attention, you won't have it, like many of my ex-girlfriends. All right, there we go. There. No, I think that's gonna go. So yeah, I've got a couple of pictures of New Year's Eve in Japan. I did live in Japan in 2004, 2005. Been back a couple of times since then. My Japanese is shitty, but you know, can always practice and improve. So I would like to show you a couple of pictures, including the thumbnail. The thumbnail from tonight's live stream was taken in a town northeast of Tokyo where I lived, and it's called Abiko. And that giant bell, they ring it 127 times on New Year's Eve from 127 different lucky volunteers from the audience. And it's a very, I don't want to say somber, it's not somber, but it's a very formal occasion, I suppose. It's a very somber's not the right word, because there's drinking and there's happy people, but it's a serious event, New Year's. And yeah, here it is right here. So let me see if I can share that for the audience. Yeah, that fire needs some work. Let me put this up here for you though, friends. And is that lemon pie I see in the chat? I think it was. I think it was lemon pie. No, let me put it up here. There we go. Let's throw that up right there. No, we don't want that. And I'll grab that and put that down there. And that is lemon pie. Hello to you, lemon pie. Great to see you, my friend, coming from the great state of Texas. Howdy, Canadian Spider-Man. Good to see you, Dad Man Walking. The fire was going. I'm going to get it going here again. Frank Vaughn says quality over quantity. That is very true. And got to go read to the kids. Be back in a bit. Okay, this fire will be pumping by then, and we will get into tonight's topic, 2025, 2026, and the year that is coming. And so here is, let's share this so that you're not looking at a dead fire. There's potential. I'll get it going here. There we go. So that is the temple complex just around the corner from where I lived in Abiko. And this was in December, right before Christmas. And if you do get a chance to go to Japan for winter time, Let me tell you, it is magical with the snow all around the temple complexes, as you can see. Let me. What did I do with that? Okay, and let's take a look. Here we go. And we want to go. Is it this way? I think it's this way. Yes, okay, there it is in the summer. That's Kyoto in the summer. That's Kiyomizu-dera, the water temple, basically. There we go. There's the giant bell, and there's the thumbnail from tonight's live stream. So this is the bell in the Abiko temple, Abiko town's temple, one of many temples. This is a common scene all over Japan. You'll see big bells like this. It's a bronze bell with a big wooden banger. It looked very, very old, in my opinion. And many temples and shrines have this, and so it was fantastic. Happy New Year to you, Lemon Pie. And so yeah, that's the giant bell that they ring for New Year's 127 times, and I believe my understanding is that is to ward off the evil spirits and chase off the bad juju from the previous year, and to welcome in the good spirits for the new year. So yeah, this fire needs a bit of work. I'm disappointed with this. Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno. Okay, bear with me. See, this is the hard part when I'm doing this all by myself without a co-host here. We're gonna put that off. Let's get this fire going. I brought in some embers from the wood stove. Yeah, that's cheating. That's cheating, I know. But we're gonna get this going. This is gonna be going here in no time. The old Canadian Tire flyer come in handy. There. Now that should go. There's no reason why that shouldn't just go right up. Big fire. Let's hope so. All right, it's gonna take off any minute now. Any minute. You watch. There. There we go. Oh, no. Chain just came off. That's all right. That'll get us what we need. There. This'll go. This will go. Sure, it will go. There we go. There we go. That's got some life. There. There we go, chat. Now there's no way that won't keep going, right? You would think. Oh, that is frozen. I'm just gonna end up splitting it. That is frozen solid. The axe will not stick in it. There. All right, there we go, chat. Now that should stay going. Yeah, sorry, the saw was probably a little bit loud. The chain just fell off the saw, so I won't be using that anymore. Jason Love says, hey, Booty Doody Nick, good to see you, my friend, again. He says, I don't call it cheating. You got to work with what you got. Well, that is absolutely true. So I'm going to get a chair and have a... Thanks, Lemon Pie. I think it's going there now. I'll grab a chair and we'll have a chat about the new year. All righty. There. I think that should work. All right, friends. We'll gather around the fire here. Yeah, I think we're okay now. Yeah, so 2025, I know a lot of people had issues with 2025, but personally, like I said, I got to go to Texas. I got to meet Sean Carter, Tiger Stripes. Sean Carter is the sci-fi model guy. I saw his workshop. He showed me some projects he's working on, including one for Doomcock. And man, I hope that turns out well, Sean. And he's just a really talented guy with more passion than anything. So thank you for showing me your shop. And he made me homemade Texas chili, which was really good. So 2025, for having tasted Sean's Texas chili alone, I call 2025 a good year. Going to Texas and seeing that it was a lot more green than I expected. I'll tell you that, around Austin anyway. And I got to see the Alamo with Tiger Stripes and Anti-Derivative Jill and Pee Wee Herman's bicycle. So that was a highlight. I mean, if you would have told me New Year's Eve last year that I was going to see Pee Wee Herman's bicycle in person, in 2025, I wouldn't have believed you. And yeah, I got a sailboat like my dad's that I grew up, learning to sail on Lake George in New Brunswick. So that was a highlight. And yeah, going to Mexico, spending a month in Mexico was fantastic. I went down basically. I needed the fish and the sunlight, and it's yeah, just to get some warm temperatures again. And Sashi, hello, greetings to you, Sashi, all the way from Malaysia. Greetings and happy New Year, everyone. I'll be heading to work soon, so see you guys. Hey, great to have you here, Sashi. I'm doing it a little earlier than normal tonight. Normally it would be about 4 hours from now, but it's going to be colder later, so I thought I'd do it early while I can, and it's not too chilly out here. And hey, I want to say hello to our good friend AJ Starhacker. He says, "Hey, Spidey, just stopping by to drop a like and say Happy New Year's. Headed for RPG night with friends." Well, that sounds fun. That is fun. RPG role-playing games. Well, if you're talking Dungeons and Dragons, I do have the Dungeon Master guide, and I enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. So have fun doing that. Or it might be online. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, 2025. What happened? Well, Canada, federally, we're headed in the same direction that we've been going in the last 10 years. That is rapidly downhill. On a positive note, I do believe that people are aware of more than ever, I guess, of some of the issues that we need to face. Housing is a big one in Canada, and getting more houses built before we let in too many people through immigration is going to be key. And I think that has been acknowledged this year, so that's a good thing. Alberta, wow, they have been passing a couple of laws to make it harder for, if not impossible, for the federal government to take away your personal property, especially firearms. Saskatchewan has also been passing laws like that. So that's a positive. That's a win. And anything that just further enshrines people's rights to own property, the property that they acquired legally, I think is a good thing, a really good thing, And what else happened this in 2025 that was good? We got a couple of decent movies. Frankenstein, which I just saw a little while ago, with what's his name, Del Toro, Benicio del Toro. I've always been a fan of his anyway. I thought Frankenstein was really quite good, and that's sorry, my beer was blocking the fire. It's a cider, actually. It's a pear cider, BC Craft cider. So yeah, Happy New Year, folks. 2025, yeah, there were a couple of good shows that I caught. Although, frankly, I don't have a lot of time. That's why I don't have Netflix or Amazon or anything like that. All my free time I spend with you guys on YouTube, honestly. And what else happened in the world that was positive in the... Well, I think Japan getting a prime minister who, she seems pretty common sense. She's a conservative, and she seems like she's going to do some good things for Japan. So, I mean, I left part of my heart in Japan when I was over there living, and I love the Japanese people and the country, and so I really hope that they do well this year. Oh, and I did say, now, yeah, I think that's overall that was 2025. My family personally has been healthy and good in 2025. I had a couple of friends that are having health challenges, so hopefully they can do better. And I do want to say, West Kegel, wherever you are, my friend, we're thinking of you, and hopefully you're doing okay. I got a couple of messages from you recently, and you seem to be in good spirits. So West, I'm raising a glass to you, my friend. I'm just happy to know you in 2026. So I did spend New Year's, like I said, in Japan in 20. When was that? 2005. New Year's Eve 2005, just becoming 2005. That's when I was in Japan for this. And that's what we're looking at right here. I did not get to ring the bell, but it was pretty darn loud, and I observed the whole thing, the whole night, which was fantastic. So yeah, there you go. That's New Year's Eve in Japan, and it was phenomenal. Now I do also, I do have experience spending New Year's in Copan, Honduras, and that was fireworks like you wouldn't believe it. It was like a war zone full of fireworks, with especially later on after 10 p.m. with the teenagers. It was insane, but fun, a lot of fun. At one point, my girlfriend and I were hiding behind the corner of a stone building because it was just getting out of hand. But you know, it was a hell of an experience. And spent New Year's 2 years ago in Mexico, on the Pacific coast of Mexico, in the state of Jalisco, which I think is possibly the state in Mexico that likes to party the most. Just super friendly and super celebratory state. They just love celebrating life, and so that was fun. And again, they do fireworks, and let's see if I can find it. I have a video on my channel of some of those fireworks from 2 years ago, and let's see if I can find it, because the Mexicans do fireworks like no one else, let me tell you. Yeah, just fantastic. Spinning fireworks. Oh, in Ecuador. Oh, yes, I also spent New Year's in Ecuador. I forgot about that. Well, yeah, shit. Let's pull that up then. And I don't know if you people have seen this video on my channel about New Year's in Ecuador, but let's take a look here. Let's see if we can bring that up. Right there. Pause that. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So we'll say goodbye to Japan. Oh, and Booty Duty Nick says, yeah, keep your firearms. I'm from Texas. So yeah, it's so important. You're right. I think we're beginning to understand that here now in Canada. So let's share the screen, and I will show you what New Year's Eve in Ecuador looks like. And wow, that's trippy. Let's get rid of that. Let's replay. And hopefully, you know what? I'm not sure I put the audio. So let's remove that, and yeah, let's do it this way. Sorry, folks. I am trying to get it so that you can hear. Okay, yeah, I've got to turn on the audio. That's better. Okay, there we go. And here it is. So let's make it full screen again. So this is, yeah, New Year's Eve in Ecuador. And that was made out of bamboo and metal, and it was on fire. Different fireworks were going for a good half an hour, and it culminated with at the top, the spinning part on top, spitting out huge sparks. So yeah, hopefully you could see that okay. We don't want to. Yeah, there we go. How's that, eh? Yeah, homemade. It looked very homemade. But yeah, and again, the people are happy. There's music. The kids were enjoying it. There was food, there was drink. Like many places in the world, drinking in public, as long as you're not misbehaving, is acceptable. They, yeah. So yeah, there we go. I will stop that. So hopefully you could hear that. Okay. Fireworks are pretty big around here too. Let me tell you. I didn't hear any arms this year, which was unusual because sometimes we hear shotgun blasts. But no, it was all fireworks this year, but a lot of them. And Mexico, I think the only place that celebrates with more fireworks than Mexico might be Guatemala or Honduras, and a lot of them are homemade, and you can buy them uh, right from the corner. All kinds of um, little street corner shops set up just a couple days before New Year's and start selling them. And they look homemade. A lot of them are made from newspaper. In fact, in Honduras, without the finished look, a very rough homemade look to the. Yeah, there you go. And oh, here's a yeah, here we go. Here's another one in Ecuador, New Year's Eve, and I'd like to share this with you. All right, and I've got my sound. Yeah, I think so. And hopefully this is a little interesting for you. I'm going to make it big. So this is, again, in Ecuador. And New Year's Eve in Ecuador. Yeah, it's a little dangerous. You know, attending these events comes with some risk. The crowd. This guy's pretty brave. You know, I thought that was fun. Let's show that one more time. Hopefully you can hear this and you can see this, and it's a little bit interesting for you.
This
No,
is
that's not. No. I did press back. Come on. Let's go now. There we go. There we go. No, that's the right one. Good. So yeah, Ecuador fireworks everywhere. Everywhere. Guatemala, same thing. It was a lot of fun. And the Ecuadorian people, let me tell you, they are very generous and very hospitable. They were a lot of fun. Booty Duty Nick says, yes, absolutely, we got to keep our firearms. That's so important. So yeah, 2026. I think the goal for 2026 is I'd like to get back to Texas again, and hopefully check out some options for moving there legally. And I'd like to, if at all possible, man, would I ever like to get over to Greece and travel through Greece. That was my New Year's resolution for this past year, but it just didn't work out. So I'd like to go there this year. Never been to Greece, and I'd very much like to do that. I'm going to attend to this fire a little bit more, folks. I do have hope for 2026 in that I think Canada might change directions here. I think we might have an election coming up in this year, and hopefully we can regain some common sense. We'll see. But even if that doesn't happen, at the very least, I'd like to at least get a chance to go visit Greece for a month. You know, you can't go just for a week. It's too far. You might as well go for a month. But excuse me, chat. I'm just gonna get this fire going. A little better. There we go. There we go. That's a better fire. There. Now this is a little bit of birch with the birch bark on it, so that should burn pretty nicely. Look out. There. Now that should sustain itself for a little while. I think we're good for a little while, Chad. Yeah, now what? 2026. I would also like to. Oh, sorry. Booty Duty Nick says, just don't go to the city in Texas. There's many possibilities. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I visited my friend Sean Carter, who lives in the countryside. Oh shit! And I forgot to mention Eugene Bird. Holy sweet shit! I got to meet and spend quite a bit of time with the fantastic Eugene Bird, or Old Man Bird, as you may know him. And so, yeah, of course, I've got to mention meeting Gene and Tiger Stripes and Jill and Sean Carter, Jill's family, and oh my God, Tyron Beard. Wow, and Rennie L. It goes without saying, spending the night with you guys. They put me up at their house and for the evening, and we had a great time. Tyron and I sat up talking about everything in the world, just about till about 3 in the morning or something like that. So it was fantastic, or 2 in the morning anyway. No, it was a great meeting them and spending some time with them. So yeah, 2025 was good. But no, I wouldn't go to the cities. Like Sean Carter has the idea, you live outside of the city, I think. Smart in the countryside. Sort of like here. I love the countryside, right? But 2026, I would also like to see, one of my hopes for 2026 is that there's been a lot of division. Some of it between men and women, between all kinds of religions, sexual preference, all kinds of that stuff. So I would like to see in 2026, my hope is that we focus more on perhaps the state of other things in the world and less on our differences. That would be fantastic. I would like to see some unity, and I think it's starting. We see that some of the foolishness in Hollywood is turning around. So there might be hope for that. I'm hopeful anyway, because we used to all rally around, a huge movie that was coming out, or maybe a celebrity, and so maybe that's what it takes. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but it sure would be nice if we could focus on not being so divisive and focus on creating some incredible things. There's a lot of potential, so I'm hoping 2026 is like that. A quarter of the way through the new century already, the 21st century. We are, already a quarter way through it. That's amazing. Can't wait to see what the next 25 years are like. But Malacca, New Year's in Malacca was pretty damn interesting. I really enjoyed Mexico. The Mexican people are friendly, especially in little tiny towns, smaller towns. I got to meet a whole bunch of the locals, which is always one of the real pleasures of traveling is meeting the locals and seeing what their daily life is like. So that was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that. And I think Greece for the new year would be a good destination. I'll take lots of videos, and I'd love to do a couple of live streams. Now, I did live streams from Mexico this last March, and that was fun in 2025. I almost burned down a palapa with the fireworks at the place I was staying at. So that maybe wasn't awesome, but I mean, it was awesome because it didn't burn down. I did end up having to get a new laptop though, because I also ended up shooting fireworks at the laptop accidentally. So that was a bummer, sort of. But let's see if I can search Malacca. See what comes up. I should be able to see. Yeah, I remember all going down to the beach on New Year's Eve, and it got dark, and practically the whole town of Malacca was along. It's a huge beach. It's miles and miles and miles long, and it's really deep. It's, I don't know, like 100 feet wide or better, 30 meters. And we all go down, and everyone started lighting off Chinese lanterns on New Year's Eve, and like families just letting Chinese lanterns go, and that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that, and I think have I got that here? I think I do have it in my channel. I'm sure I do. Yeah, here it is. Here's New Year's Eve in Malacca. Yeah, let me pull it up right here. Yeah, it was a great time. If you do get a chance to go spend Christmas in Mexico, I highly recommend. It's just a great time. So let's go take you back 2 years ago, and let's take a look at what New Year's Eve in Malacca was like on the Pacific Coast. And it's a town of about, hard to say, probably 7,000 or 8,000 people. But it's a huge, long beach. So let's take a look. New Year's Eve, Malacca. Malacca! New Year's Eve! 2023 now! 3 years. Fireworks all through the night. Individual restaurants. Jesus! Okay! Yeah. You are not allowed to operate fireworks anymore. Yeah, that was... and he still is. That was... All right. Jesus Christ. Yeah,
I need a helmet.
New Year's Eve in Mexico. Highly recommend. Don't bring your pets. Leave your pets at home, folks.
Holy shit.
There you go. So yeah, hopefully you hear that. Yeah, you had audio on that, everybody. But yeah, just fireworks in New Year's Eve, Mexico, fantastic. Honduras, the same thing. Guatemala as well. Any one of those places to spend New Year's Eve is just amazing if you happen to like fireworks, which I do. Japan as well. They do fireworks in the summer in Japan. New Year's Eve was more, like I said, more of a formal occasion, more of, I don't recall. I mean, certainly there were candles, lots of candles on New Year's Eve in Japan, but I don't recall fireworks. In the summer, they have a ton of fireworks all through the summer. But I didn't recall too many fireworks there in New Year's Eve. At least not where I was. It was more of more about going to the temples and the shrines, and more of a serious event. But yeah, I think that fire is okay. I could add a little bit more to it. Yeah, let's get this a little bit bigger, shall we? There we go. Since we don't have the chainsaw, we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. This might take a little while. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, you thought I was going to hurt myself, didn't you? Nope, not this time. So let's just see. Let's just take a look here. And I betcha I can find I betcha we can find New Year's Eve in Japan. Betcha. I wish I should have taken more pictures. Oh no, look at that. Okay, the big cities do have fireworks in Japan. I'll be darned. Look at that. Okay. But yeah, mostly it's the big bells. The giant big bells. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they do have fireworks. Fireworks. Yeah. All right. There you go. Thanks for the times now. Fireworks in Japan. Yeah. Okay. Well, not in my little village, but anyway, it's all right. We've been about an hour here, folks. So that's my usual length of time for live streams on a travel night, especially on New Year's Eve. So I think I'm just gonna sit around the fire here, but I am gonna close down the stream, and yeah, hopefully 2026 is going to be a good year. I have optimism that maybe the world is going to be a little more united than it has been, and I'm also optimistic in my own personal that I'll be able to get back to Texas and perhaps even get over to Greece and do some videos over there. So that'd be fantastic. Anyway, that's hopefully 2026, everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Booty Duty Nick and AJ Starhiker and Lemon Pie and Sashi and Suzanne and Dadman Walking. It was great to see you. And Jason Love, of course. And it was fantastic to have Herc 130 here and the lovely Sherry and Frank Vaughn, a YouTube channel that I follow and watch his stuff. So please check out Frank Vaughn, as well as Gone with John was here as well. And another excellent men's advice channel. And he does a lot of stuff out in nature too, which is cool. He did a couple of videos with slinging stones. Gone with John did on his channel. And that is a difficult art, I think. But it was fun watching your video on that, John. So thanks for that. And who else did we? I think that's Carla Burton, of course. I can't forget Carla Burton. Good to see you in the chat as well, Carla Burton. Thanks for being here. And Miskatonic Madman and Tim FKHC. Thank you for being here. So thanks to everyone for being here. We've been about an hour. I think I covered. Yeah, 2025 wasn't so bad. 2026, I'm hopeful for, and I'd love to do some more traveling. I was fortunate to do some in 2025, and hopefully do a little more, and meet some more YouTuber friends. I'm thrilled that I got to meet half a dozen YouTuber friends this year, and I would absolutely love to meet some more YouTuber friends in 2026. Actually, Rod Thunderheart, if you see this, I'll come over to Alberta and visit with you again, as well as the Comic Relief Crusader. I'll go and visit you, Mike, if I get a chance. I'd really like to. Alberta, that's something that's interesting for 2026. Maybe I do want to talk a little bit about Alberta. I am optimistic. And don't worry, we're not going to get too political, more of the cultural side of it. Although there is a great deal of political discussion to be had about Alberta. But I am really liking the culture. The more that I go and visit Alberta, the more time that I spend there. I do actually have an aunt and family who live there in Calgary. I just like the Alberta culture. Which is quite different from where I grew up on the East Coast. And that's why I believe it's two separate cultures, at least in Canada, not even including Quebec. There's a third culture right there. And I grew up next to Quebec, spent quite a bit of time going over there and vacationing there and traveling there. But Quebec is most definitely a different culture than the rest of Canada. But Alberta, I really like the idea that they like hard work. They like doing things for themselves, independence, and they don't really like handouts. Now, having said that, they don't mind giving someone a helping hand in times of need as far as social programs go. However, the people of Alberta, their culture seems to be that they do like to work for things, and they expect everyone to contribute and to work for what they get, which is fair enough. On the East Coast, they tend to, a lot of the times, they tend to like to be given things, and there's a lot of we used to call them bleeding heart liberals, but a lot of people, older people especially in the East Coast, that just want to give everybody, you know, they want everyone to have, everything they need in life. And the problem comes when you try to pay for that. And some people, they don't want to work for it. And as much as you give them, they'll just continue to take and take and take. So that's a huge difference I noticed in Alberta. They just genuinely think that everyone should contribute and that you should earn what you get. And so that I really like that. And I just think Alberta is, they've got a common sense approach. It seems like I said, they made legislation. Hello, Mark D with a C. Did I not say hello to you? I put you up there and I didn't say hello. Hello to you, Mark D with a C. Happy New Year's, everyone, he says. Canadian Spider-Man, did you get a flamethrower for Christmas to help get those fires going quickly? No, but I did give my brother one. I did give my brother a mini flamethrower that I got from a buddy of mine. So yeah, I hope he enjoys that. Yeah, the fire's still going. I think we're okay. I will attend to it a little bit here. But Alberta enjoys barbecue as well. And I love barbecue. Texas had some fantastic barbecue. That was a highlight of 2025 for sure. Going with Eugene Bird and Tiger Stripes to the barbecue joints were fantastic. But yeah, Alberta likes barbecue. They do like hard work. Now it's a bit cold there. It's a bit cold, and so I think the solution is to spend, the summers in Alberta and maybe the rest of the year down in Texas, where it's nice and warm. That might be a plan. But I think that might happen in 2026, is maybe set up a base somewhere in Alberta, because I suspect they're going to leave. They're going to do a vote for independence this year, and they are getting shafted, as in financially being taken advantage of by the East Coast. And what I mean by that, well, the East Coast passes laws to sort of limit their production of oil, but yet takes a lot of money right off the top from Alberta to hand over basically to Quebec and Ontario and the Maritimes, the equalization payments, which is that's a hard ask for a lot of Albertans, because it's just out of hand. It's to the extreme, and Quebec does have a lot of resources, but they are not included in the equalization payments calculations, conveniently enough. So I think that's pissing a lot of Albertans off, and they're really realizing that it's not fair. Alberta makes all these rules, and Alberta's taking steps to, and the federal government's passing rules in areas that constitutionally they shouldn't be poking their fingers in. The federal government in our constitution really only has a couple of responsibilities. One is to enforce the borders, which they've been doing a piss poor job of, and the other is to facilitate trade with other nations. And even nowadays, we don't even need that anymore, with the internet and with Alberta setting up offices in other countries, same as California and other places. Quebec does that. So we don't even need the federal government for that. But they're poking their nose in healthcare. They're poking their nose in education, and those are provincial jurisdictions. So they need to stay. And Alberta, smartly enough, is passing laws to keep the federal government out of their business. Where in British Columbia here, we go right along with it and even encourage it. So that's ridiculous. As far as Alberta passed a law about people's medical autonomy after the pandemic, so that you have your own, so that you can't be forced or coerced into taking things medically that don't benefit you. So I'm happy about that. I don't think BC will ever do that. So I think 2026 might have me looking hard at Alberta, and I suspect they will separate. They're going to vote, I think, in October. And man, I want to be there. I want to be a part of it, because if they were an independent country, uh, without having to send all their money to Ottawa, I think they're going to really thrive and really do well, and opening up stronger ties with America too, is really going to put Alberta in a good position, and I definitely would like to be part of that. And then, yeah, if I can, spend the winter months in Texas being productive, that would be incredible. That would be unbelievable, really. Speaking of being productive, I'm going to attend to this fire a little bit more. Hey, William Shakespeare, fantastic to see you, my friend. He says, "Happy New Year, Canadian Spider-Man. We can still call them bleeding heart liberals. The term stands." I think so, my friend. I think so. Yeah, I think the East Coast is a different culture than the West, in that they are naive. Same as the people that voted for socialism and communism naively, and then look what happened. But I think 2026 is going to change Canadian history, because if Alberta leaves, they're the ones paying the bills. Alberta is the province that is sustaining the rest of Canada, and I think they're realizing that now, and they're tired of it, because it's not fair. The distribution is not fair. And again, you can hear the leaders say that are complaining about how much they have to pay to Quebec and Ottawa. They don't mind helping out the poorer provinces like, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, to balance out the quality, to make sure. I guess the idea is to make sure the quality of life is about the same throughout Canada. But unfortunately, if you go to the extreme, it costs so much money that the quality of life across Canada is lowered, which you can see. There's evidence of that everywhere. So I'm stoked that Alberta is not putting up with it anymore. And if they left Canada and kept all the money that they produce to invest back into Alberta without having to support Quebec and the East Coast, man, they could be one of the wealthiest countries, states, independent state. I don't mean American state. They could be one of the most wealthiest sovereign nations in the world. They've got the resources, and they have the technology, and they have the investment banks. They're all based in Calgary. They've got engineering firms based in Calgary and Edmonton. They've got what it takes to go independent, and I think they will thrive. And I think you'll see independent-minded Canadians who value freedom and who want to work hard from the other provinces moving to Alberta. This is the first year in history that BC lost people, and a lot of them are moving to Alberta, and a lot of them are moving to the States. BC's population is the first time it's gone down, and it's one of the first times that more people are moving to Alberta from BC than the other way around, and I think you're going to see that continue in the next year. I'm stoked. I'm really optimistic about Alberta. It will mean that the rest of Canada will fall apart under its own weight, because they cannot, without Alberta's money, I don't think they can survive as a country. I really don't. I mean, the people in the Maritimes are going to have to get off welfare and unemployment insurance and actually work in the winter. I was in the construction industry there. A lot of the people there, it's their job to go on unemployment insurance and collect money from the government through the winter, as they see it. So I think that's going to, if Alberta leaves and they don't have the financial support from Alberta anymore, they're going to actually have to get to work. And Quebec is actually going to have to open their resources. They have a lot of resources. They just don't want to develop them. They'd rather sit back and have Alberta support them. So that's going to fundamentally change Canada. And I never thought I would see it this decade. I thought I would see it in my lifetime, because if you're a student of history, political maps always change. Political maps throughout history always change. There's only a very couple of countries in the world whose borders have remained the same over the last couple hundred years. And if you look at them, they're tiny. There's one up in the Basque province of Spain. Is it Andalusia? Andalusia, I think. Something like that. And borders change. And I think 2026 is the year where Canadian borders are going to change. You know, the the problem with that we have in the West is that in federal elections, by the time, because of the time differences, we're 4 hours behind New Brunswick and 4.5 hours behind Newfoundland here in BC. Uh, by the time we get to go vote, the polls have closed over on the eastern part of Canada, and they get an inordinate amount of voting power. They get more seats. They get more. Their vote carries more weight out there. By the time the vote gets out to here, it's already over. The election's already been called. It's been won by the huge amount of seats that the East Coast gets. It's really not proportional. It's not fair at all. If you look at how many MPs and how many senators the East Coast gets, including even the tiny little provinces like New Brunswick, where I was born, compared to what Alberta and BC get, and Manitoba and Saskatchewan, it's I don't see how it was ever allowed to be that unfair. But I think you're going to see that change this year. Anyway, this fire needs attention. I'll be right back. Oh, hey, Kelly Baker. Excellent. Good to see you. Hello and welcome to the bonfire. It's not flaming as much as it should be, so gotta get it going here. Welcome. It's a little bit better. It is a little bit better. Hello and welcome, Kelly Baker, to the chat. I was just going over my hopes for 2026. Now, do I want Alberta to break Canada apart? No. I would like to see the East Coast become successful on their own without all the financial help from Alberta. I've got family, people I care very deeply about on the East Coast, so I don't want them to, but they're gonna have to pull their shit together. This socialism that is prevalent throughout the East Coast, it only works until you run out of other people's money, and they're gonna have to realize that Alberta is done. I think this is the year we're going to see a fellow by the name of Jeff Rath. I think I'm saying that correctly. Been watching him. He's part of the Alberta Prosperity Project. And cheers, folks. And I really think that Albertans are waking up, and they're realizing that they're not. I mean, I've lived half my life on the East Coast, 27 years, just about, on the East Coast, and 27 years on the West Coast. They are two separate countries. We are two separate cultures, very much so. And I think it's better off for everyone if the East separates from the West. I would love to see the East Coast thrive on their own, and I would like to see the West not become constrained by the East. The West might be the last bastion outside of America for freedom in Canada. They value independence, they value personal freedom and cooperation, of course, but the East Coast seems to be hell-bent on socialism, and that won't fly on the West Coast here. That's not a thing. Of course, Vancouver is very socialist, and Victoria, and unfortunately, they carry the majority of the voting weight in British Columbia. But geographically, by far, most of British Columbia is quite conservative. Vancouver Island is mostly old people and government workers. So literally everyone on Vancouver Island, where the BC capital is, Victoria, gets their money from the government. Either they're employed in universities, or they're seniors, or they're working for the government. Or, well, you can say, well, people have their own private businesses there. There's like, yeah, there are. And all of those people do their business with the seniors and with the government employees. And so essentially they are also getting their money from the government via the government employees and the seniors. And it's not sustainable. They're unique. Victoria and Vancouver as well. They're a different demographic, and I would like to see the east half of British Columbia separate with Alberta, frankly. Everyone around here in the Okanagan, I think, pretty much has that attitude. And Saskatchewan, they're not going to want to be left holding the bag paying for the East Coast, so they're going to get out as well. I think you're going to see that. I think that's going to happen. The start of it is going to happen this year. And I look forward to it, not because I want to see the downfall of the East Coast, but because I want to see the West be free and really thrive. I think they can. I absolutely think they can. Boy, that is a cold beverage. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep warm here. Yeah, the fire's going. We're okay. And Kelly Baker in the chat says, I just popped in to say hi. I'm going back to Tony's live. I'll come back if I get bored, which is never. Oh, Tony's on live. I know he was on earlier. So, yeah, shout out to Tony. That's excellent. Yeah, Mark D with the C says, maybe they can open some daycare centers to raise some money. Wow, hey. Yeah, Mark D with a C, you're not kidding. And Minnesota, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg. I was seeing a YouTuber that was going around and he was documenting a very similar situation in Ohio. I think he was based out of Columbus. Yeah, so I think that's gonna be another big story. Now I'm also optimistic. In 2026, we're going to cut out the government waste and fraud. I'm a huge fan of the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and I would love to see that in Canada. I agree with a lot of what Trump is doing. I never used to be a huge fan of his at all. But now I've started watching not what people say about him, but I've started watching what he actually does and his actions, and I approve. I think Canada needs that, a big part of it. So I would like to see that. But yeah, boy, we're struggling with this here. I don't know whether well, you know what? It's been a while. The wood possibly is a bit wet, although I do cover it. But anyway, yeah. It's still going. It's all right. But I am optimistic that I think is it Nick Shiftley? Nick Shirley, the young YouTuber that exposed some of the fraud in Minnesota. I think he just opened up something like a Pandora's box, and I think it's going to get bigger. And I think people don't realize just how big the scams have been, and I think a lot is going to be exposed this year, and I'm optimistic about that. If we can prevent taxpayer money from being wasted, either in Canada or America, that's a good thing. Because whatever happens to America definitely affects Canada. We are their little bitch, basically. That's just the way it is. They're 10 times our size. Actually, that's a good point. America is only 8 times our population, and yet their gross domestic product, their GDP, is 12 times bigger. So they're only 8 times bigger, and yet their GDP is 50% bigger again than ours. So they're just more productive, I suppose. We have a lot of regulations up here. But yeah, I would like very much to see Alberta thrive and part of eastern BC separate with them, and Saskatchewan as well. And not that I want anything bad to happen to the East Coast, but I mean Norway and Sweden, they used to be the same country under Swedish rule not that long ago, and they're doing much better. I believe they're much better off as separate countries. Now, I've not been, sadly, I haven't been to Sweden or Norway yet, but I will. It's high on my list. And also the Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, much better off as separate countries. Portugal and Spain, the list goes on. I think that we'd both do better as separate countries, because culturally we really are separate countries. And I've been studying culture my whole life, so I say that with a bit of experience. I'm also looking forward to 2020. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. And I am going to set up a base in Alberta. Sean Carter, I'm coming your way, man. I want to set up a base in Alberta, have a residence there, and maybe help vote towards independence. But I would also like to, so I'd love to come and see you again, Sean Carter, and Rod Thunderheart. And of course, oh shit, how could I forget Brian? That 70s rock show. I went and saw him 2 years ago in Alberta, and had a wonderful time with him. So I would love to go and visit with them again. But I would also like to meet more YouTubers. This year, like I said, in Texas, I got to meet. I said Sean Carter? No, yeah, Sean Carter down in Texas. The Comic Relief Crusader, Mike, up in Alberta. Yeah, I might have misspoke there and said Sean Carter. Sean Carter's in Texas. I meant Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader. I'd love to go see you again, buddy. I did misspeak. I did say Sean Carter. No, Mike. And although they're both very happy, smiley, big guys, so it's you can understand why I get them confused. But yeah, I'd like to meet more YouTubers. Stone Loki apparently is down in Texas. I did not know that. I should have made plans to meet up with him when I was down there. I admire that guy a great deal. And he just seems like the kind of guy you'd want to go and hang out with and have a couple of drinks with and just listen to his stories, man. I'd love to go see Stone Loki. I have aspirations of one day, at least, maybe not. I'd love to shake Doomcock's hands. I don't ever want to know who he is or see his face, but I'd love to shake his hand, man, if I get back down to Texas and buy him a drink. And there's a whole bunch of other people that I would love to go see. I'd love to meet Mexican Iron Man somewhere there, and Culture Casino, Tom Connors, all those fellas. So, oh shit, Latino Slant, Paulie. I'd love to meet up with him. Gary Ambrosia, Rancor Steve. You're high on the list, my friend, Rancor Steve. I'd love to come and meet you. And Mark D with the C. Yeah, you got it, man. You were about to be mentioned, my friend. Mark D with the C. You're high on the list. You were about to be mentioned. Yeah, there is a massive fraud. Oh, there's massive fraud everywhere. It's human nature. And when there's easy money, well, that's exactly it. So we need to take away the easy money, I think, is the idea. Pizza on me if you come to Connecticut and New York City. You're damn right. I've been to New York City. The first time I was there is 1988. I was there again in 89. The last time I was there was 2019, just before the pandemic, actually. Yeah, it was a good time. Holy fuck, driving on the Jersey Turnpike. It's like Montreal, except worse. The lanes are more narrow. It's insane. Good thing I have driving experience from a few places. Holy shit. It's like driving in New York City is almost as bad as driving in China, man. Nemesis of Eden, you beautiful being. Good to see you. He says, hail, you beautiful beings. I hope you're doing well today. Just at work, so I'll be lurking. Good to see you, Nemesis of Eden. I caught your gaming live stream earlier. Fantastic. And yeah, you're another fella I'd like to see, Nemesis of Eden. I don't know how social you are, but at least I'd like to have a beer with you. And you're in Canada, but maybe we could meet up in a warmer destination. Like maybe come on down to Texas. We'll go hunt down Stone Loki and see what he's up to. Nemesis. But or Lemon Pie. You know, I don't know if Net Lemon Pie wants to meet in person, but maybe we could do have him do a drive-by, just wave out the window or something. That'd be funny. I'll wear my suit. I'll bring my suit. But I am getting a little bit chilled here, folks, and that fire is just, I'm going to have to do some more prep, all right? I will have another bonfire soon, and I'm going to do a lot of prep to make sure that we can get it roaring. It's just been busy with Christmas and New Year, so I haven't, but I should have a ton of kindling and lots of birch bark, and we're going to really get that ripping next time. But yeah, Nemesis of Eden, fantastic. He says, I'd totally be down for a drink in person one day, Spidey. You got it, man. You got it. I'll buy the first round. You got it. Fucking A. I think you're on. Shit, you know what, Nemesis? I forget where you are. I think you're, if I'm not mistaken, you're in Ontario. And you know what? My folks are in New Brunswick. My family is in New Brunswick. My sister's out that way, my friends. So I do pass through. I mean, you got to go through Ontario to get to New Brunswick unless you want to go the really long way around through Japan, which I have done. I have done that. But yeah, I'd stop over in Ontario. You're darn right. I got some friends there. I got some friends in London, Ontario. And I'd love to stop in through there. But anyway, folks, I'm beginning to shiver. It's chilly, and this fire is just not putting out the heat. And this beverage is a little too cold. But I hope you've enjoyed your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It's only 6 p.m. here, just after 6 on the West Coast. So we still have a few hours left of New Year's Day. But yeah, the long and the short of it is 2025 wasn't that bad. Well, for Hulk Hogan it was, but you know, and you know what's his name, Tim Waltz. Yeah, it's probably not going to be good for him. 2026, but I think 2026 for the rest of us, you know, if you're not a Minnesota politician or a Somali, I think it's going to be good. Looking forward to taking back more control politically in Canada in this year. And I'm looking forward to meeting more YouTubers and going traveling more. And anywhere I go travel, I will absolutely share it with you, fine people. So thanks for being here, folks. And I'm going to just wrap it up there. Have a great New Year's and happy 2026. And thanks for being here. And you're damn right, Nemesis. We will have a drink one day. But you know what? We'll meet up in New York City, Nemesis. We'll go visit Mark D with a C in New York City. We'll meet up there. That's not far from you, and I think I can get a flight there pretty easily. Okay, and Mark D with a C says, "Where's your amazing friend Firestar when you need your Spidey? Stay warm." Exactly right. Not the house is cranking warm. The wood stove is going, so I'm gonna go inside. Thanks, everyone, and have a great evening. And I will be back for sure. Every Thursday, I'll be doing a travel stream. So next Thursday, absolutely, I'll be doing more travel. Soon, I'm going to be doing New York City, actually, with Anti-Derivative Jill, Mark D with a C. So if you would like to join Jill and I for that, I've got some pictures from 88 that I'm scanning in, and that'll be in the next few weeks. But aside from that, I will be doing a proper bonfire here and getting the flames ripping. Where I'm going to be adding 4-foot logs to that puppy. So we're going to do that soon. Hopefully, maybe Sunday, Monday, something like that. Perfect. You got it. You got it, Mark D with the C. Oh, shit, Nemesis, you're in Alberta? Fuck, I don't know why I thought you were in Ontario, dude. I am so sorry. I apologize for that. I did not mean to accuse you of being from Ontario. Yeah, we call it Ontario, my American friends. Yeah, Nemesis, you're in Alberta? Fuck, dude, I'm going to be coming there. I think I'm going to be coming there before March in the next few months. Because like I said, I think Alberta's going to separate, and I want to have a base. And even if they don't separate, Alberta is the place to be economically, I think. So I'll be coming in the next few months. I'll come and see you. Sounds good. All right. Have a great night. And yeah, happy 2026. I think it's going to be fantastic. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.